What's up, friend? My name is Matthew Dale. I'm here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more. And I'm going to talk about the Smart Bypass feature in the Axe FX3, also on the FM3 and FM9. This is a really great feature that you don't want to miss out on. It's a little bit confusing. You might not have heard of it before, or you might have seen it and not quite know what it does or what it is. We're going to talk about that in this video. So I have a preset built with the Class A 30-watt Brilliant, like probably my favorite AC30 type in here. I'm going through some AC30 cabinets, and I got a little bit of compression on the back end and a little splash of reverb for a very dynamic, touch-sensitive amp tone like this. I'll be on the neck pickup for right now of my Ibanez AZ. Sounds like this. And then if I go to like my position 4, neck and middle, it cleans up nice. But if I go to my bridge, it starts to crunch up pretty nice as well. So this type of amp tone works really well with different drives. And in particular, I've got 3 that I've already kind of dialed in here. So the first one is going to be the Sunrise Splendor, the JHS Morning Glory type in here that sounds morning glorious. For a little bit more of a clean tone or a clean boost, I have the RC booster. This especially sounds really nice on the neck pickup. And I've also got a Nobles in here that just gives it a little bit more crunch. Now, I'm not always the type of player, the type of Fractal user that uses scenes for everything. In fact, if I want more than 8 possible tones in a preset, I need to do something outside of scenes. So I've got this amplifier set up where I like, but I want to have access to all 3 of these drives. But especially on something like the FM3, you only have 2 drive blocks available, right? So what do I do in that sense? If you want to have access to all 3 of these drive tones separately, this is where the Smart Bypass feature comes into play. I showed this to a client of mine recently. Yes, I do private coaching, not just for guitar lessons, but also for your Fractal questions, as well as other gear type of training. I've helped people set up their audio interfaces in their studio, other gear questions, again, Fractal questions. I'll link to that. If you want to learn more, I'll link to that in the description box below. But I showed this feature to a client of mine, and it literally blew his mind. He's like, I can't believe this makes everything so much easier for what I want to do on my FM9. I'm on the XFX3 here, but it works the same on everything else. So I've got, down at my feet, I got my FC6. It's all blank right now. I've got just a bunch of blank per preset overrides, and I'm going to set up my drive. This is drive block number 1, and I'm just going to select this, and I'm going to do the channel select feature on here. That's going to be the function that I have set. This one I'm going to select to channel A, and then the second press, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. I'm going to do Smart Bypass, and I'm going to copy this, and let's also do a custom name. So I'm going to set up one of these for the Morning Glory, MG. I'm going to do yellow. I'm going to try to do it. You can't really see the labels very well when I'm filming the FC6. I can see them very nice and clear here, but on tape, they don't really work so well. So I'm going to do colors here. We're going to copy this switch, and I'm going to paste it on these other areas here. So we've got the Morning Glory on A. On B, over on this switch, this is going to be our RC booster. And let's do that in white, because they also came in white for the RC booster. And then the Nobles, obviously we need green for that. That's going to be on C. And now I have this down at my feet with every single channel. I'm going to go back so you can kind of see what's happening on the screen here. As I hit one of these selectors, obviously it's going to select different channels. But if I hit it again, it's going to bypass the channel. So here I have my just no drive. And I can go in and select, just like I would with individual stomp boxes on a pedal board. I'm just going to select which drive I want. I'm effectively turning this one drive block into 3 separate effects. The caveat is you can't stack drives. So if you're the type of player that stacks drives, yeah, you're going to need at least 2 drive blocks to do that. But if you just like to mix and match which drives you're using, this is a great solution. So here I'm on my Morning Glory. I might want neck and middle. And then I can turn it off just like that. I have access now to all 3 of these drive types without using the scenes function, which makes things a little bit more flexible as we kind of stack things up with a way that I might want to use scenes for the amp channel or for various effects that I put after this. Here's another good case use. I have a rotary block in this preset, which I'll make available. I'll pop it over on my Patreon if you want to download it. But on this rotary, I've got channel A on a faster rotary speed. Channel B is a slower rotary speed. Now, generally what I've done in the past is I might set my Leslie to just a switch, and then I might do a hold function to control the brake, control the rate of the Leslie. But on this, it makes it a lot faster. Hold functions just take a while, and by a while, I mean, however many 5 seconds or probably less, half a second or whatever it is. But when you're playing, you don't want to have to always worry about a hold function, hold this down for a certain amount of time for that effect to switch on or off or do whatever you want. So I'm going to do this with Smart Bypass on a couple of different switches here. If you have the switches available, this is a really good thing. Again, I'm going to select Rotary for the effect here. And we're going to do Channel Select. One's going to be on A, and we're going to do Smart Bypass. I'm just going to copy this and paste it over here so that we can select B. And I might even want to name this Fast, and then on this one, this will be Slow. So now I can operate my Leslie as I would. Here's the... Now it's going to switch. I'll pop this up so you can kind of see it. And then I can bypass it. And then whatever I select, it will go to that channel, obviously, as well. And that's how you can use the smart bypass feature in your Axe FX3, FM9, or FM3. Again, if you have the switches available, this can really give you a little bit more of a pedalboard into amplifier experience. So if you're like that type of player that's used to just having your effects and you want those on and off, but you also want to be really efficient in your preset construction, this might be something that you want to check out. Thanks for hanging with me today. My name is Matthew Dale. I'm here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more, and I'll see you next time.